What's something that is okay when men do it but frowned upon when women do it? Make a choice that favors their career over their family. Men get a promotion that keeps them out of the country or unavailable fairly often, and he is seen as a hustling provider regardless of how many children he has. If a mom is offered the same job, she is seen as a truly shitty parent if she even entertains the notion of being unavailable for her children. Saying we don't want to have kids. IDK why women can't say that without being told it's the reason why they're here on Earth. My boyfriend even said it's only women who used their wombs who would go to heaven because they fulfilled God's purpose for them. This is one from the past, but I would say cursing. Everybody curses these days, but I remember back in the 70s when I would cuss sometimes, I would get the comments, "That's not very ladylike." Interrupt and speak over someone who is talking. I learned early in life that speaking up leads to violence, so I've always had a soft tone as a result. The few times I've tried to speak up and assert myself in a conversation in a work setting, I've been treated as though I just cursed out and flipped off everyone in the room. Casual conversation is much different. I actively try to recognize when people are wanting to say something, but can't get a word in and try to make space for them if I can. I grew up feeling guilty for taking up space, and that's a really hard habit to unlearn. Not change their name when they get married. Thanks for the reminder that this varies by location. We all have blind spots and tendencies to resort to default assumptions based on gender, sexual identity, race, education, etc. that we can all work on recognizing. Be a single parent, oh, he's so amazing looking after his own children. While the whole "she should have made better choices, single mums are use only" rhetoric is everywhere. Be muscular, use your natural voice without modifying it to sound fake and hyper-feminine, say what you mean, set boundaries, earn more than their partner, talk about sex, don't like sex, be average looking, be less than average looking, be better than average looking, not shaving, being president, farting, burping, pooping, wearing tank tops, school loves that one, being plus-sized, bodybuilding, mostly on TikTok is there a lot of hate, age, sitting with legs apart, rejection, being a stripper, thirst traps, prioritizing career over family, sleeping with multiple people, being confident about themselves, not wanting children, abandoning children, acting like you don't know what you did wrong when you absolutely do, and you're just saying that so you can get out of the situation, laziness, and lastly being jobless, honorable mentions, gaming, not doing chores, not taking care of yourself, which ties into laziness. Bail on their own kids. By the way, men responding to this saying, "not all men," and this applies to everyone, no one is saying it's not shitty when men bail on their kids. But when they too often do, they don't face anywhere close to the same level of judgment and criticism that women do. Research shows that women are judged more harshly for abandoning caregiving expectations. Journal of Marriage and Family, Ridgway and Carell, and Hayes, 1996. The Cultural Contradictions of Motherhood. Gendered expectations of selflessness, care, and sacrifice are disproportionately applied to women, engaging in risky solo traveling experiences. People blame a woman for being naive and hail a man for being cool and spontaneous. To be fair, some regions are just more dangerous for women. Not saying it's their fault though. That's just how things are, unfortunately. Not even just risky solo traveling. I recently told a couple people that I was planning a solo trip to the Netherlands, and they were like, "Oh my god, that's so unsafe. I could never understand traveling alone as a woman." I suppose the classic one is shagging around. If you're a guy, you're a stud. If you're a girl, you're a slut. I think both men and women who shag around are sluts, and I say good for them. I wish I had the self-confidence to be a slut. The guy is often admired for promiscuity, for high body count. Women are usually despised for promiscuity, for high body count, but women can also be envious of other women who pull it off in the same way guys are admired. When a woman shags loads of guys, she's a slut. When my friend did it, we called him Gay Ricky. I don't feel like that's true anymore. My wife certainly doesn't like me to go shagging around. The guys are sluts too. Buck at other men. I don't mean actually resort to violence against another person. I mean that implied threat thing some men do where they stand up during an argument, loom over you, or generally try to use their size to imply physical violence. I work a corporate job with men who make $70,000 plus per year at minimum and wear button-up shirts. But I can't tell you how many conference rooms I've been in where some man is convinced being louder means he's right and almost unconsciously stands up or leans forward over the desk to try and intimidate me into agreement. Turns out if you're a woman and you also stand up or get out of your seat, they don't know what to do about it. Like, you've called their bluff of violence and now they don't know what to do because they can't want actually hit you because you're both working professionals. It short-circuits their brain and gets you labeled as aggressive or difficult as a woman in corporate. Not having children, neglecting your children, playing video games, focusing on your career, being emotional, being aloof, wearing shorts, not wearing a shirt, having sex especially with multiple partners, celibacy, feeling, expressing sexual pleasure, masturbating, talking about sex, being romantically and or sexually attracted to women, having body hair, going through bodily changes, having imperfections, work flaws, laughing too loud, not laughing, rejecting romantic sexual advances, being empathetic, being apathetic, breathing. Edit to add, and this especially applies to a certain gay pop star who rose to fame last year. Being loud, opinionated, not taking shit from others, having boundaries, having the ability to stand up for yourself. Women even enjoying sex. Ex-husband actually complained that I never said no to him when he wanted sex. Like, I had a boyfriend who broke up with me because I never said no to him. He said it was abnormal for a woman to not be turning him down, and that me never turning him down must mean I'm horny all the time, which obviously meant I was going to cheat on him. In general, it means being independent. To some degree, this will irritate someone just because you are a woman. Yup, this is why a lot of women were labeled as witches, as they were single, lived alone, and financially independent. The powers that be did not like it. Infidelity. It's still not viewed as completely okay when a guy does it, but it's often seen as just a moment of weakness, whereas for women, it's seen as a fundamental deficiency of character or decency. And I'm saying this as a guy who thinks that apart from abuse or estrangement, it's never really okay. Hey, I've seen it the other way too. Man cheats, he's a piece of shit. Women cheats, she was being neglected. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of which gender you are talking to. Having a body that is noticeable. Excellent phrasing. It doesn't matter whether it's noticeably skinny or noticeably fat or noticeably attractive or what. People are going to get mad at it. Sex with multiple partners in the past. People shouldn't ask questions they don't want the answers to. In my previous 5-year relationship, we never once asked each other for a body count. We both knew we weren't virgins when we met. We don't need to know more. I was going to say high body count. The mess that is the replies to this comment? Slut shaming is making a resurgence. Not American, but Roe v. Wade. How long until women can't vote anymore or have jobs? I'm not trying to be sensationalist either. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Being authoritative. When men do it, they are seen as confident and go-getting. When women do it, they're seen as argumentative and bitchy. I've been told I come across as too self-assured, by men of course. I once got feedback from a manager that read, "You speak as if you have the right answer to everything." Guarantee none of my male peers ever received that feedback. And honestly, what was I supposed to even do with that? He conveniently dodged all our one-to-ones for weeks after and never addressed it verbally. Maybe you should try to be more accommodating, friendly, gregarious. Try laughing at his jokes and making sure that yours aren't too funny. Of course, but definitely true enough from those same men. I've been called the same and it's impossible to navigate. We're always too something. Sit with our legs apart. At 64, I do what I want. Unless I'm wearing a skirt, I'm gonna have my legs in whatever position is most comfortable. I rarely wear skirts, but when I do, they're full and I simply bunch the fabric so I'm not showing anything. Age. So many Reddit comments saying men peak in their 30s. The same people will say women peak under 25 imao. For some men, women peak in their teenage years. I've seen so many women say the time they got hit on the most was when they were teenagers. Being prescribed the right amount of pain meds. I just read a book talking about how scientists never tested their drugs on women, and women happen to metabolize pain medication differently. So yeah, the medical system needs a review. Ask to be sterilized. I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. I could not get a vasectomy as a single man in my 20s because I could not find a doctor willing to do the procedure. You might change your mind later. Your future wife might decide she wants kids. You just never know. Once I hit my 30s and got married, I had no problem finding a doctor willing to perform the procedure at one of the same clinics I had tried when I was younger. Not shaving. I told my wife pretty much from day one, I don't care where or how often she shaves. I'm basically a Wookiee, so I have no business telling anyone to shave anything. She's still gonna get pushback from the rest of society, unfortunately. It pisses me off. Shaving should be a personal choice. Have a dope-ass mustache. When we were kids, one of our landlords was a woman who had a mustache, and I remember my little brother, 6 at the time, just sobbing at my mother because she wouldn't grow one for him to look at. Absolutely hilarious, yet another unrealistic expectation for mothers. And here I thought the day would end without Reddit making me laugh out loud. Pee standing up. Hey, you ladies are free to pee standing up. It's fine with us men. We aren't around when you pee anyway. Do what you want. The only one stopping you is your pants. You just reminded me of my dream last night. I, 45F, was standing in the street talking to an older lady when she just casually started peeing, and it was going in all directions. I think I said something like, "Oh, you pee crazy too." It made me feel a bit better because I have trouble controlling the direction of my pee when I use squat toilets, haha. Nobody has actually ever been bothered by me peeing while standing before. We can pee standing up. It just takes practice and being willing to look at your anatomy in a mirror so you know how to pull your vulva apart the right way so the pee doesn't spray or go a weird direction, and you have to have a stronger pelvic floor to pee with some effort so it doesn't run or dribble. So yeah, we can. It just takes a lot of practice some people don't want to do, and I'm one of them. I had a friend that figured out how to aim it. When she was young, she got mad at a little boy and used this power to pee on him, standing beside the pool from atop the water slide. Everything? Just name something. Cursing in public. Fine for men. If a woman does it, she's emotional, trashy, etc. Just watch a video online and read the comments. Farting in public or in a public bathroom, or going number 2 in a public bathroom. Men will walk into a work or public bathroom with a magazine every day. If a woman has an emergency just once and needs to go number 2, she is told she has to take care of personal matters at home or off the clock, and she receives reprimands in the bathroom, in front of her colleagues, or both. Double standards on how you look, dress, and behave. Not just the 300 to 400 pound guys with 120 pound women, but hair, makeup, clothes, everything. Every single second of how a woman treats her own children in public is dissected. When a man walks into a place, his kids are trailing 50 feet behind him. He doesn't care. Nobody else does either, because no one walks up to a man and gives them unsolicited parenting advice. Double standards with healthcare is what really pisses me off the most. Recent legal changes mean women cannot have a say in what happens to their own bodies. Let's not get into the extreme multi-hour or multi-day pain and discomfort of delivery. What about being kicked out the hospital ASAP after the delivery? What about the pain from breastfeeding? What about having to wear frozen diapers? What about only having Tylenol for pain management? All of that. And some men have the audacity to comment about their wives' or partner's appearance, or how the house is messy, or dinner isn't ready, or men wanting to have sex before the 6 weeks is up. These men need to pass some kidney stones naturally and get kicked out right after, and only have Tylenol prescribed. Or have a vasectomy awake with no pain management during the procedure like natural childbirth, and then only have Tylenol prescribed. All of that is just one part of it. Women could never get decent healthcare in this country before these changes. Think about breast or ovarian cancer treatments versus testicular cancer treatments. Men wouldn't last very long if they had to live in pain and discomfort like women. I know women, not a woman, women who had heart attacks in the ER because their symptoms were ignored. Repeat, in the ER. Or when a woman needs a pelvic exam and for whatever reason it's going to be really painful and uncomfortable. And that's when all the male doctors want to come in and observe. How many looky-loos show up when a man is standing there half naked with another man's hands on their junk? Honestly, none, because it's too embarrassing for the man. Or when a woman needs a colonoscopy and you say you would like to be put under and the doctor says they don't put people under for the procedure, then you find out after the doctor lied and does put people under, but only men. So men who are supposed to be so tough and can handle pain, discomfort, actually can't. To address that fact, they are treated humanely and put to sleep for the procedure, but a woman in need of the same procedure has to be awake for it. Any men know what an awake colonoscopy is like? It's similar to a doctor, I repeat, a doctor, attempting to give you an epidural during childbirth and then missing, and then carrying on with the procedural as if he didn't miss. As hypocritical as it sounds, it's sleeping with many people and stacking up body counts. Society says it's manly when a guy does it, but if a woman were to do the same thing, she's a slut. Show closeness by picking on people. I was once a little autistic girl who emulated her father, who everyone loved. His defining characteristic was that if he really liked you, he would dog on you in the most extreme way he could. People loved him, and they loved getting dogged on. Not so much when a little girl did it, even actually made my dad mad. Girls get a lot of socialized out of us, like being funny. God, ain't that the truth? You ever notice how when a guy's confident, bold, says what he wants, asks for a raise, whatever, and people thinks he's the boss, but when a woman does the exact same thing, she's suddenly too much or intense or gets hit with that lovely she's being difficult label. It's the same energy but totally different vibe from how people react. When a man arrives late to a meeting, many think he's busy, has a million important things to do, but when a woman is late, she's automatically labeled disorganized or unprofessional. Or when a man is direct and firm, they call him a leader, but when a woman is the same, she's called bossy or difficult. Saying no to taking birth control. It's okay for a man to not want to take BC or have a vasectomy even when it can be reversed, but women are expected to take it and deal with the horrible side effects and pain. Men even get pain treatment when it's not that painful. IOL women get nothing. Working on your car or house. I admit it not really frowned on, but it is annoying to hear over and over who needs a man when a woman can do it. I just wish people had more self-respect than to perpetuate stereotypes, because it holds others back from doing their own business. It is also interesting when going to the hardware store how fast and repeatedly they if you need help, and how surprised when you say no thank you. I think also women underestimate how impressed guys are when you can do things, but many have soft egos so frustrating to thread lightly. Wear the same thing every day like a cartoon character. Steve Jobs. There are a multitude of fashion guides for women who do a lot of business travel to create capsule wardrobes that let them fake that they have a large variety of clothes with them, because the cultural standard is for people to notice repeat outfits and judge them negatively for it. A guy can pack 3 identical suits for the same business trip, and it would never even occur to anyone to care. Die death by suicide, death by violent crime, death in armed forces, death from poverty. We don't help men with the same rigor we help women. And I know a lot of guys who would expect to opt out if they lose their job or marriage. Among the massive amount of misandry in here, at least one comment with sense in here. Being upfront and direct without sugarcoating anything, focusing on career, not being interested in becoming a parent, casual sex, not shaving body hair. For connects, I'm a guy, but I've noticed a lot of my friends that are girls will face a lot of backlash for advocating for themselves, much more than I've ever seen as a guy. It's seen as ladylike, I guess, to be fluid and adaptable instead of standing your ground, but the strangest part is that backlash comes from women just as often as it does from men. Aunts, mothers, sisters, just older ladies at work. They've got no shortage of opinions on your opinions for some reason. Liking things. It's socially acceptable for men to love football, but when women like K-pop, it's deemed childish or silly when the two subjects can both pretty much be boiled down to which team you like and who's are biased in that group. Spending 5 minutes getting ready for work and leaving during minute 6. I could save 2 hours for sleep if I didn't need to fix my hair, makeup, save my legs, and pick out a nice outfit with shoes to match. All while getting the kids ready for school, making life-altering choices without being asked about a real or imaginary partner. Don't want kids? What if your future husband wants kids? Want to focus on and put all of your time into your career? Then who will take care of the home stuff for your future husband? Don't want to be a SAH mom? So you'll make your future husband babysit? The last one always makes me laugh. When men watching their own kids is considered babysitting Imao.
Thank you for watching. Write comments, put likes. Do not forget to watching other videos.